Hi, and welcome to this week's Smilecast. This week we thought it would be fun to take you behind the scenes and look at how we prepare a room and ourselves for some of the implant and bone grafting procedures that we do in this office. So the first thing we do is we set up a room at the end of the hall and make it look like a mini operating room. We place surgical drapes that are sterile over some of the counters and tabletops, as well as over a bunch of our instruments.
The next thing that happens is Paula, who was my surgical assistant, and I put on our hairnets, masks, and glasses, and then we start the hand scrubbing process. You can see that we start by scrubbing each of our fingers, each of the different sides of our fingers, as well as underneath each of our fingernails. Now this filming has been sped up so that we don't overly bore you guys, but it actually lasts, it's a 4-minute surgical scrub. We start with our hands, work slowly down our arms, eventually getting all the way down to our elbows, and then in a moment you'll see that we rinse our hands from our fingertips to our elbows. The idea with this scrub is that you work all of the bacteria from your fingertips to the elbows, and then you rinse in the same direction. You see here that we are drying our hands now with sterile towels, and then in a moment we'll be picking up our gowns. We pick them up from the inside, the part that's going to be touching our clothes, the outsides being the sterile part, and our second surgical assistant, who's not sterile, ties the ties, making sure to only touch the ties. Then put on our sterile gloves. At this point, everything on me from my shoulders to my waist is sterile. We walk down the hall into our operating room, which now has a patient in it, and we sit down and we get to work.
We go through all of this scrubbing procedure, prepping the room, prepping the patient, prepping ourselves, to minimize the chances of overall infection in our higher risk procedures. Minimizing infection keeps all of us smiling, and at the John Fornetti Dental Center, smiles are what it's all about.
Smiles are what it's all about. John Fornetti Dental Center.